Welcome back. In any sport, maintaining flexibility and range of motion is important. But when it comes to throwing events such as shot put, javelin, and discus, flexibility and range of motion and strength are key components to success. Kristen Dajia with the Throwers Club shows us what it takes to throw. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Kristen Dajia, and I like to throw far. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm 60 years old. I'm with the Throwers Club, and I'm a Canadian Masters track and field thrower. I compete in the shot put, discus, javelin, hammer, and the weight throw. And all those together make a throws pentathlon. I used to compete when I was younger. Then I got away from it. You know, you have your family, you have your career. Throwing is something I came back to later in life, and I've loved it. These are the medals that I've won in the last about year and a half. Some are from Greece, some are from the US. I went in the Maryland Senior Olympics, and many are from the Ontario Championships. So this is the hammer. The hammer weighs 4 kilograms, or 8.8 pounds, at my age group. And I'm currently the Canadian record holder in this event. I have the Canadian record for age 50, 55, and 60. And this happens to be my favorite event. And not bad. This is the weight throw. This is the least known throwing event. For my age group, it weighs 12 pounds. And I'm currently the Canadian record holder for age 50, 55, and 60. So I'm pleasantly surprised by my own success. I never thought that I would have Canadian records. Anyone that's thinking of getting into an activity now that you're master's age, come on out and give it a try. It's great. The throwing community is such a great community, and we all help each other. It's such a great thing to do as you age.
Fantastic. Kristen, you have a family history of heart disease, and during COVID, you didn't throw, and all of your numbers went up, the bad numbers.
Yeah, that's what I was really noticing. Like, COVID kind of brought that out, my numbers. You know, I'm thinking about my blood sugar, my blood pressure, even bone density and stuff like that. I noticed during COVID when we were more sedentary, those numbers started to climb. And I want to stay away from, like, I'm not against medication, but I want to stay away from having to take medication. So then when I found I went back to my throwing and back to being really active, all my numbers came down.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, now I'm looking forward, you know, kind of looking for the next blood test. I've got to have my numbers down, and so that's my motivation to keep going.
That's one motivation, but let's go around the table and see what you all recommend to people who are either looking to start fitness or to get back into it.
I think it's like, what is you like to do the most, and don't be afraid to get out. And then you can keep your mind sharp, and also to socialize, right? As you're getting older, you need more friends and people to talk to. So get out there and do what you like to do.
That's so true.
Chantal?
I have to echo the thing about the social thing. We go dancing like 2 or 3 times a week, but we find that at some of the community centers that are offering like the programs for seniors to go dancing just to primarily get out, socialize. Keeps them moving, but a lot of them will line up half an hour beforehand just to get in, to make sure that they see their friends. It is a huge part of the dance world, the socializing.
Inge?
Well, socializing is in tennis also, especially when you play doubles. There's 4 of you, and it's also the before and after.
And you think that's the motivation to get back into it?
It's a motivation, and just to keep your body moving. If I would stop, I would seize up. If I have a couple of days or a week when I do nothing or very little, I mean, I'm stiffer than when I play a lot. So there's no stopping.
So I use reverse psychology for cycling. A lot of people, many people have said, I'd love to go out with you. You're probably too good for me, you're too fit. And I only have an old bicycle. So I say, why don't you go buy a new bicycle? You can get a really good one these days for $1,200 or whatever. I promise I'll go out. It will also motivate you because you feel guilty. I've spent $1,200. I've got to go out now. And I say, I promise I'll go out with you. And if you're worried about not being able to keep up, you go first and I'll follow. And then we'll go for a nice lunch somewhere. And it seems to work.
And we've heard you say start slowly, but what else what do you tell people who are trying to get into it, but it's hard?
Easiest things, lowest hanging fruit with the biggest impact, breathing. So I'd focus on nasal breathing. The benefits are absolutely insane when you start to look at it. So always breathe through your nose and then go for a brisk walk. If you can do, research shows 8 minutes a day. 8 minutes of a brisk walk with an arm swing like a happy walk, and it'll drop you from a high risk of mortality into a lower category. Just 8 minutes a day. Start there and then build it up and add to it.
Why nasal breathing?
Oof, we can go down the rabbit hole here. But nasal breathing improves digestion, pelvic floor stimulation. You can't breathe through your nose because you don't breathe through your nose for most people. All the body does is adapt. So when you don't use your nose, the body adapts to not using it. When you start to use it, the body adapts and says, oh, you want me to breathe through my nose? No problem.
What's your advice?
I train at a facility called Variety Village in Scarborough, where there are lots of people doing rehab, and it could be from strokes, all people of different abilities. And when I see them out there just doing anything, I try to encourage them and say, you know, you are doing something. They'll say, oh, you're so inspirational, but I can't do what you do. They don't need to. They need to just start. There are people there that are walking, there are people on treadmills, there are people doing elliptical machines. There's always something that they can find to do, and just keep moving, keep doing it.
Vic.
Age is just a number. You're never too old.
That's so true. Yeah, and definitely breaking it down. I remember during COVID, especially the COVID winters, when I kind of stopped. And you know, when you stop, your brain doesn't want you to do the hard things. And so I thought, oh, this is so easy. Now to get back, all I did was just, you know, ride the bike for 3 minutes. That's all I'm gonna do today. Just started there. Well, then I felt really much better, as you said. And I threw in a few sit-ups. And then the next day, same thing, but then I added a little bit more. And so you gotta start really small.
Okay. Well, if you want to give throwing a shot, visit throwersclub.ca. And there's more after the break. Don't go away.